Three words that come to my mind when I think about my elder brother: inquisitive, humorous, and intelligent.
Smartness, IQ, out of this world. He was one of the only people who, at his age, talk about books, had opinions, right? And I'm talking about when he was in his early teenagers.
When Hakim was with us, I was the headmistress at that time for O-levels. And I very clearly remember Hakim as a very respectful boy. That young boy never failed to have a smile on his face.
He had very shiny, glowing eyes. And whenever he would be very excited, we could feel his excitement through his eyes.
A lot of my students ask me, who was your best student? And I always tell them, look, it's very difficult to pinpoint someone who's the best, but I can tell you who was my top three. And trust me, every single time, even after 20 years of RAC, he still ranks in the top three.
Hakim was one of the best students of my class. He was so obedient, so kind, so pure. I used to call him my talking dictionary because he was so well versed and he was really brilliant in his speech.
He was a bubbly kid, like he always used to laugh and was smiling all the time. And he was different, a little bit unique. His thinking process, his perspective was always a little different from everyone else in the class.
He was really prioritizing health a lot. I did not drink milk. This is a very weird memory, but he used to have these Nesvita wale jo milk ke nahi hote, chote chote cartons. And he grew really fit in like a few months. And I was like, dude, like, what's happening? What are you doing? Are you going to the gym and stuff? He said, no, I'm drinking milk. And since that day onwards till like the end of generations, I started keeping like a Nesvita. And I don't think anybody knows this, but like I started keeping that because I was like, I'm gonna get fit as well.
So there was a few times when we got punished by our teachers, and then it was during our exam timings and everyone was studying, and then whenever we used to like disrupt the class a little bit, they used to punish it outside the class.
And we were forced to run around the ground. And even though that seemed like a punishment, but Hakim took that as a fun thing, was like, chalo, it's something like an exercise, we're doing some exercise and we're missing some time in the class as well. So it was a little fun thing as well.
When you grow older, you realize that those silly things are the most important things in life. Like, you really think about it and be like, okay, we were so stupid and we were literally doing nothing for no reason, wasting our time. But those times that you wasted were really the most important ones you ever had.
Hakim and his family relocated to Atlanta. I didn't get a chance to constantly hang out with him, but one of the things that I remember around that decade was we had a boys' trip that we did where we all went to New Orleans. We just really bonded, and great stories, jokes, just kind of understanding where each one of us was heading in life. He was studying content from history and connecting the lessons about people's lives and reading autobiographies and stuff like that. So that was really fascinating to me.
I think if I look at his childhood, growing up, after reading, it was soccer. He was a big soccer fan. He played for his school, he played for the city, he played for his country.
In that time of learning, you could see that he's trying to be responsive to everyone's criticism and everyone's knowledge of how he can play better.
Shy kid at first when he started first coming out, but you definitely saw him develop himself as a leader on the team, someone you could go to and talk about tactics as well, but also just talked about random things.
He was never motivated by anything for himself. He was always looking out for others.
He would always think of ways in improving others' quality of lives.
Whether it was a homeless person on the street or a member of the community that we knew that was struggling, Hakim always wanted to see how he could help that individual.
I always hear of him helping his dad out, helping his family out, saying like, hey, I have to leave a couple minutes early, go and help this is my family and doing stuff, which I really respected that a lot. He always put family first, which as a team, we consider ourselves a family, and he definitely adapted to that really well.
this past weekend was regionals, and we all got together, and we won it for him. We put our names on this ball to kind of show you that he's always with us.
Thank you so much.
Wanted you to show this.
Thank you
of
so
course.
much.
He was always changing up his passions, always changing up his interests, never staying stuck on one thing, always learning something new, always wanting to experience something new, always wanting to hearing a new perspective.
Some of the memories that come to me when it comes to Hakim was someone who's one of the most intellectually inquiring individuals I've ever come across. Someone who's very unassuming, someone who's not someone for the cars, he was not someone for the show off, he knew who he was.
His lifestyle was always minimal. Didn't care about brands, didn't care about what he was wearing. It was always about, I'm there, it doesn't matter what I'm wearing. It's my personality, right? It's not how I look. And that's what made him different. That's people will notice him for who he is and not what he's wearing and not what he's doing.
This one time when he was in the Coast Guard, he was stationed in Cocoa Beach. And Arusami and Essen, we visited down to Florida to visit him. And when he came back, we were I was going in the shower, and there was just one bottle there. It's questioning him, do you have shampoo or anything for us? He's like, no, this is it. And I looked at it. It wasn't a regular 2-in-1 kind of deal. It was a 50-in-1. It could be used for shampoo, conditioner, soap, washing your car, washing your dishes, washing your house. Anything you can imagine, it was one soap that could be used for everything. So it just shows you how simple Hakim was. And he wasn't involved in, he didn't care for any luxury. As long as it was getting done, he was fine with it.
He always wanted to make a difference. He always wanted to have a social impact. He always wanted to make sure that he's giving back. And that shows in the life that he lived.
When I heard about Hakim's demise, it was really sad to hear about that. I always, admired him in his role, whatever he played at Generations. And I pray that may Allah bless him with the best abode in the hereafter.
I think Hakim would want all of us to remember him in the fond memories that we have of him.
I always want people to remember Hakim was the most interesting person that he was. He was always very independent, and it didn't really matter to him what anybody else said.
I really hope that we turn out to be at least a bit like him, generous, thoughtful, and independent.
His services in US Coast Guard really influenced me. His whole life journey has taught me a lesson that how to push boundaries for yourself and to never give up.
As we all know, life is something which is mortal. Everyone comes, everyone has to go. But someone like him, the world needed to see him.
Our son, our brother, our soldier, our friend. Named after his beloved grandfather, Hakim embodied those same values of compassion, service, and dignity. His sense of community spanned beyond borders. His passion for art captured the beauty of the world around him. While he leaves behind a void that will never be filled, he also leaves behind a legacy that makes the Hakim name shine. We miss you, our son, our brother, our soldier, our friend.